Now, Coral is sponsoring our coverage this week, which is really good news because we're sure to have some excellent offers through the week. And what a week we have, Simon. Hello.
Hi there, Angus. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. You okay?
I'm in good form, thank you.
Good stuff. You must be looking forward to this week. It's a special one, isn't it?
It is. Listen, the Cheltenham Festival is the big deal in the jump season. I think when it comes, I know there's some great festivals on the flat, but I think Royal Ascot is the sort of almost the equivalent. 5 days, packed full of quality racing, serious betting action. And obviously there's the fashion and the social side as well. But it's for anyone who's a racing enthusiast, it's a massive week.
There's a lot of talk about the four likely odds-on shots. People are saying the four good things. Of course, Frankel, Black Caviar, Fame and Glory. In there as well. You've got a match bet that we can talk about just to try and garner a little bit of interest. Black Caviar versus Frankel. Who's going to win by the furthest margin? And you go 4-9 Frankel, and I can see why, really, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, this is really there was all that discussion and conjecture about maybe at some stage these two horses might actually meet. I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, I think it's a 100-1 shot that it's not going to happen. But so really, this is just a bit of fun. I mean, it's Frankel runs to the Queen Anne. You'd guess is more likely, certainly the odds suggest more likely to win by a longer winning distance margin than Black Caviar on Saturday in the Diamond Jubilee. But you never know, And so if fans believe that this sprint sensation from Australia is going to really be ridden out to the line, because she's often eased down in Australia, but if she's really going to be ridden out to the line to show how good she is, maybe she could win by a long distance, but it's we certainly back Frankel in the match in terms of which horse is going to post the bigger winning distance.
That might tempt some punters in who don't want to take the whatever he is 1-7 just to win the race. They might think that's a bit of value.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and then obviously the other one is just to try and if you think he's going to win and he's 7-1 on to win. But get a better price by predicting how far he's going to win. And, the further you go up in terms of devastation, the better the price. So if you really believe he's going to do something quite extraordinary, win by 10 lengths or more, well, 10-1 is clearly quite an attractive price. But I'd certainly think the even money 5 lengths or more. He's won by 5 lengths or more a few times in recent starts. And this looks a weakish field. It is soft ground, so it could be an exaggerated winning distance. And, we know Strong Suit was pulled out last time because of soft ground. Addict Celebration has been beaten by 4 lengths and 5 lengths respectively in his last 2 starts by Frankel. So I think that that the even money is the tempter there, I'd suggest.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that looks reasonably tempting, doesn't it? 5 lengths or more. And he's the sort of horse who really wants to get on with it, and he likes to run all the way through the line as well. And they always tend to ride him out all the way to the line. So that looks quite tempting. 5 lengths or more. Let's get stuck into some of the races, Simon. Start with the King's Stand. Plenty of runners this year. Bated Breath, your favourite, 9-2.
Yeah, and I mean, clearly, the forecast, the ground has sort of been drying out, but there could be some more rain, and Bated Breath is, is probably a horse who would like a sounder surface, but he's the form horse, and he won well last time, but there's some interesting horses in behind. Whiz Kid was very impressive last time. She posted some good form, or Tenzi has a really good sprint from Australia, won in Dubai, so a hell of a race, the King's Stand, and, there won't be a lot between the front few and the betting and even some of the outsiders. So I think bookies will look there and maybe hope there could be a bit of a turn up from something in behind. I know my colleague James Knight quite likes Medician Man at a big price, but he's a big Jeremy Gask fan, so that probably explains that.
I thought Soul Power was a reasonable price at 9-1 each way, given that he wasn't beaten far by Bated Breath at Haydock last time and got squeezed out at the start and then got messed about a little bit when challenging as well. That was a fair enough sort of price. The grand, he wouldn't want it too soft though, that would be the problem.
He's a fast horse, isn't he? I mean, I think that's right. And on his day, he's very good. And he's actually, since that 100-1 shocker in the Nunthorpe a couple of years ago, he's started to become very consistent. And he won't be far away. I think, again, he probably likes slightly quicker ground as well, wouldn't he? And I mean, it's such a good race. I mean, Joy and Fun's a really good horse from Hong Kong who's won in Dubai last year and wasn't beaten far last time when he'd been unlucky in Dubai. And Little Bridge, I don't know much about, but, again, he's representing, decent form over in Hong Kong. So, Tangerine Trees, I mean, didn't he win the Prix de l'Abbé? I mean, it's incredible, really. It's a really, I mean, the one thing, we may not have Black Caviars here in the sprint division. What we do have is really open group race sprints, there's no question.
Yeah, very competitive indeed, and some real good value with Coral there. Bated Breath, 9-2 favourite. Prince of, St James's Palace next. We can talk about this. There's no real standout here, is there? With Power in at 3-1, the 3-1 favourite.
Yeah, I mean, the milers so far, the 3-odd milers have really been, sort of much of muchness, it seems. We had the muddling race in France where there was real, real trouble running for most of the field, apart from Lucain, who came out on top largely because of a clear passage. In Ireland, Power's victory, well, you could throw a blanket over the first 6 home, and Foxtrot Romeo was second. It looked a muddling race, but he's clearly, bar the 2,000 guineas where he was well beaten, he's been pretty consistent in his career, so he's the favourite. But I could see, this is such a deep field, 16 runners. Just amazing. And also, Most Improved have been drawn badly on the outside. That could be a real negative for him. But just a hell of a race. I think lots of punters will have different views, but for me, Born to Sea showed enough last time to think that he could progress again, and maybe is the value at 8-1 because he's threatened to be a real classy horse and obviously bred to be. So maybe, but no, a good race that. And again, bookies will be licking their lips for an upset, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I think that's ripe for an upset. The St James's Palace, wide open, and as you quite rightly mentioned, the draw very important indeed. Let's move on to the Prince of Wales Stakes there. This isn't as wide open, is it? You go even money, so you think it could well go off odds on, Simon.
It could. Sirius de Zagel was in the betting, but obviously not running, and I don't think that's a huge surprise because they were talking about, I think, the Grand Prix de Saint Cloud later in the month and then the King George late July. So they decided not to come here, and it's created another banker. And as you say, we've got a few. We've got Fame and Glory in the Gold Cup on Thursday as well. And even money, so you think he was beaten the race last year by Rewilding under a great ride from Dettori, but he's going to be tough to beat here. Carlton House, I was very impressed about Sandown. He looks the main danger, although there are some wise guys putting up this far who won the third Hunt Cup impressively. He could be a massive improver. So it's a good. Listen, the good thing about Royal Ascot is all these races are interesting, and Pointeur is a good horse. But so you think, listen, he's a Coral Eclipse winner, Angus, and only great horses win the Coral Eclipse. So I think he's going to be tough to beat.